Once upon a time, there was a queen that ruled a kingdom. In her vanity, she would daily ask her magic mirror, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest one of all?" Lesson 1. Don't waste time comparing yourself to others. The wicked queen couldn't stand it if anyone was more beautiful than herself. One day, the mirror tells the queen that Snow White, her stepdaughter, is the fairest of them all, which makes her furious with jealousy. Despite being a princess, Snow White is forced to work as a scullery maid. But even though she only had rags for clothes, that couldn't stop her beautiful and cheerful spirit. As Snow White sings about wishing for the one she loves to find her, a prince rides by and serenades her with one song about the one love that he has been searching for. Lesson 2. Inward beauty is more attractive than outward beauty. Snow White's rags didn't stop the prince from being attracted to her sweet spirit. Lesson 3. A cheerful and positive attitude is attractive. Snow White didn't let her oppressive life discourage her. She kept a positive and cheerful spirit despite it all. The queen orders the huntsman to come, and she decides to send Snow White and the huntsman away to the edge of the woods so that he can dispose of her. The huntsman, however, cannot bring himself to do it, and instead warns the princess about the furious jealousy of the queen. Lesson 4. It takes courage to stand up to what is wrong. The huntsman knew his own life would be in danger, but he also knew he couldn't live with himself if he did such an evil act. The huntsman tells Snow White that she must run away to save her own life. After running for a time, she collapses on the ground crying. Lesson 5. It's okay to grieve when bad things happen. Snow White has had so many bad things happen to her: her parents dying, her stepmother being cruel to her, and now even trying to kill her. After some time, animals in the woods come out and comfort her. Snow White is happy to make friends with the animals. Lesson 6. Friendly people make many new friends. Snow White asks her new friends if they know of a place she can stay. The animals eagerly lead her through the woods to a quaint cottage in the woods. When she goes up to the cottage, there doesn't seem to be anybody home. She knocks on the door and has a look around the cottage. The animals inform her that the current residents don't have any parents to take care of them. Snow White is astonished at how dirty everything is, so she decides to get to work cleaning up with the animals' help. And what better thing to do than to whistle while you work? Lesson 7. Whistle while you work. Snow White isn't afraid to get to work and do some chores around the house. Lesson 8. Make a good first impression. When meeting new people for the first time, Snow White understands the importance of making a good impression the first time you meet someone, especially if you want to convince them to let you stay at their house. Meanwhile, 7 dwarfs work in a mine searching for gems. They dig in their mine the whole day through. Lesson 9. Hard work is satisfying. The 7 dwarves don't mind working in the mine and actually find satisfaction in the work they do. But when the clock strikes 5, they are also happy to put down their shovels and picks and head home. Heigh-ho, heigh-ho, it's home from work they go. Lesson 10. You can sing a song no matter where you go. Meanwhile, Snow White is very tired from all her hard work and goes upstairs to see what the bedrooms look like. She's interested to see all the names of the people who live there engraved on the beds. She then lays down on the beds and takes a nap until the 7 dwarfs come home. Lesson 11. Take a nap. As the 7 dwarfs come home, they see lights on in their cottage, which greatly alarms them. They proceed to sneak up to the door to inspect what is going on. Lesson 12. Lock your doors. Snow White was harmless enough, but unlocked doors only invite trouble. Come on, dwarfs. Even if you lock the doors, don't hang the key right by the door. To their great surprise, they find the house has been cleaned better than they have ever seen it, and with dinner made in the kettle. The seven dwarfs then go upstairs to investigate the bedroom and find someone is sleeping in their beds. When they pull back the covers, they discover it isn't a monster, but in fact a beautiful girl. Snow White and the seven dwarfs introduce each other, and she offers to clean their house and make them dinner in return for allowing her to stay at their house. At first, Grumpy isn't convinced, but when she explains her story about her and the evil queen, the dwarf changes his mind. Lesson 13. Share your story with others. Sharing your story can be a powerful way to influence others. The seven dwarfs feel bad for Snow White and agree to her arrangement. It's probably also pretty convincing to have a princess asking you for a favor. When the seven dwarfs come downstairs with Snow White for dinner, they show Snow White how few manners they have learned living by themselves. Snow White inspects each of their hands and is astonished at how dirty they are and sends them off to wash up before dinner. At first, the seven dwarfs hardly know what to do. It's been so long since they have washed themselves. So Doc instructs them and shows them how easy it is to wash up. Lesson 14. Teachers are important caretakers of society. It is through teachers like Doc that we learn how to do things and maintain a healthy society. Grumpy is not willing to wash himself up, so the rest of the dwarfs grab him and give him a bath themselves. Lesson 15. Sometimes we need others to see our own flaws. Grumpy thought he was clean enough, but the rest of the dwarfs saw dirt and filth that he had grown used to and thought was normal. We need a community around us to help us to see our blind spots. Back at the castle, the queen finds out from her magic mirror that Snow White is actually still alive. Realizing that she has been tricked by the Huntsman, she decides to take matters into her own hands and goes down to her dungeon. In order to trick Snow White, she needs a disguise, so she finds a spell that will make her appear to be a harmless old woman. Lesson 16. What is on the inside will eventually come out. It is fitting that the witch turns herself into an ugly old hag, for on the inside, that is who she was all along. Back at the cottage, Snow White and the seven dwarfs enjoy themselves with dancing and singing. The happiness and joy in this home stands in stark contrast to the dark, evil brooding taking place across the kingdom in the Queen's palace. Lesson 17. Take time to enjoy life with others. After the dancing is done, the seven dwarfs ask Snow White to tell them one of her fairy tales or bedtime stories that she knows. She decides to share a princess story, one that is about herself. She tells how she has fallen in love with a prince and how he is in love with her. At bedtime, the dwarfs insist that Snow White should take the bedroom and that they would be quite comfortable downstairs. After some fighting between themselves, they eventually find various cozy places to sleep in. Lesson 18. Sacrifice for those you love. The dwarfs were eager to give Snow White the best they had to show her how much they loved her, even if it meant an inconvenience to themselves. Lesson 19. Make the most of a bad situation. After a brief scuffle, the seven dwarfs make the most of their sleeping arrangements and finally settle down the best they could without a bed to sleep in. Meanwhile, the witch brews a potion to make a poison apple to give to Snow White. An apple that looks delicious and appealing, but brings harm and injury if one were to eat it. Lesson 20. Not everything that looks good is good. Content with her disguise and her poison apple, the witch heads off to the woods to find Snow White. Back at the cottage, Snow White has made a habit of seeing the seven dwarfs off to work every day. She has won over the hearts of all the dwarfs, even Grumpy. Lesson 21. Make daily habits to show your family how you love them. Small things like kisses goodbye and hugs go a long way. While the dwarfs are off at work, the witch finds the perfect time to visit Snow White by herself. Snow White is friendly with the old woman, but also wary. Lesson 22. Be friendly with strangers, but also keep your guard up. It's one thing to be friendly and welcoming, but to eat apples from a stranger that you don't even know? Not the best idea. The animals somehow know the danger that Snow White is in and rush off to find the seven dwarfs. The dwarfs are very confused at first by the animal behavior, but after the persistent pushing of the animals, the dwarfs finally realize that Snow White might be in danger and rush back as fast as they can. Back at the cottage, the witch convinces Snow White that the red apple is a wishing apple and will grant a wish to the one who eats it. Unaware of the poison inside of it, she takes a bite and instantly falls to the floor. The seven dwarfs come back just as the witch is leaving the cottage and chase after her. They chase her up a steep slope, and the witch plans to release a boulder on the dwarfs, but divine providence steps in and brings an end to the witch and all of her evil plots. Lesson 23. Evil ends will come to those who are evil. Rather than burying Snow White, the dwarfs put her in a glass coffin so they can still see her beauty. The story of a princess sleeping in a glass coffin comes to the prince, who rushes over to see her. To his great delight, it is the same princess that he has fallen in love with earlier, and he comes and gives her love's first kiss on her bed. To everyone's amazement, Snow White wakes up from her enchanted sleep and is whisked away by the prince. But before leaving, she says goodbye to her sweet seven dwarfs, whom she has grown so fond of. And at last, Snow White's wish for the one she loves to find her finally came true. And they lived happily ever after.